in Indian Space Research Organization for Chandrayaan-2 project, that is lander and rover communication. So which is the data acquisition part. And later I have started my own startup in artificial intelligence, which I have started my startup in Hyderabad itself, in Madhapur. So where I have received a patent from an Indian government related to the healthcare product. So which we have tie up with so many hospitals in Hyderabad also, like for getting the data for doing the project. And the one of the project which I got a patent in the biotechnology part, that is purely related to the healthcare product, that is multiple disease detection on a single platform. So which is purely related to biotechnology, MEMS, and the artificial intelligence. So that I received a patent. Another still more patents as I to have to receive. So that I have applied for various countries like USA and Australia. So I am waiting for those also. And later I joined in one of the MNC as a data scientist. Currently I'm working as a data scientist, where I used to work in the machine learning as well as in the Python programming, as well as in the automation of the various tasks and the AWS S3, as well as in the deep learning, convolutional neural networks, as well as NLP. So in multiple domains, I used to work in simultaneously on various projects. So I'm here for you to start the Python programming. First of all, I think most of you come from technical background or non-technical background are also there. I'm assuming that some are from non-technical background also. So you don't worry that, so everyone makes you feel that programming is very difficult, programming is very tough. Don't keep in that mind. Programming, which is very simple, that too, especially what you choose this program, Python, is very simple, because how we used to talk with everyone in simple and plain English, in the similar way we used to talk with the system in the simple English. The same similar simple English we used to communicate with the system. So if you know the English language, that is more enough to learn the Python. So you won't feel that much hard whenever you are learning this Python programming. So which you will feel very easy, that I can assure you. Don't think that as it is difficult, whether I suitable for this Python program, whether to learn. Don't think in this way. Even for non-technical or technical people, anyone can learn. If you are intermediate student, that is more than enough to learn this Python. Even in nowadays, for school children also, the international people, schools children also, they are learning the Python. So that is not a matter. So to learn Python, which is not that much difficult, everyone can learn. So that is a main thing. So mainly, so many people have the doubts, as you are coming from non-technical background, whether I can learn the Python or not. Don't think in that way. If you know the English, that is more than enough. Even if you don't know programming, even if you don't know the syntactical, if you don't know the any logical thing, that is also fine. Here we are there to help you. But if you know the English language, that is more than enough. That is what I want to tell before starting the Python, what we are going to start in this program. So first I want to give this clarity. Later, so we will see that what we are going to start in this course. I'm sharing the screen. So these are the Python core we are going to start. That is, first of all, I want to introduce the Python, and which will be comparing with other programming languages like Java. So nowadays, wants to learn Python, why this Python came very popular compared to other languages. Even if you have so many languages, before Python, everyone used to do in the Java and C Sharp and .NET, all these things they used to do. Why this Python came so much popular compared to other programming languages? We'll learn the comparison between other programming languages. So why does Python is very familiar? By learning the Python, what kind of jobs you will be getting? So by learning the Python, you can go as a Python developer. So by you can go definitely as a Python developer. The minimum package for the Python developer itself is minimum 7 to 8 lakhs is there. So definitely will be get that job if you learn the Python very confidently and very accurately and very consistently. So if you do like this, definitely you can get as a Python developer for the fresher, I'm telling. So if you want to go for the coming to the data analyst, the skills should be required as SQL, Python, next Excel, Power BI, Tableau. These 5 skills are required if you want to go as a data analyst. For these 5 skills, if you know only 4 skills also, that is not enough. The must and should you have to know all these skills if you want to go for the data analyst. That is the Python is there for going for data analyst. There also you require the Python. If you want to go for a data engineer, that is to get the data, to acquire the data from various databases and to prepare the data. For preparation of data, the role is data engineering. There you should require the skills like as the Python, SQL, Big Data, Hadoop, Hive, and the PySpark. All these kind of programming, whatever the skills are required, there also the basic is Python. So if you want to go for a data engineer also, the Python language is required. And coming to the machine learning engineer, if you want to go for a machine learning engineer, Python, SQL, descriptive statistics, inferential statistics, if add-on advantage is Power BI, machine learning and deployment in any cloud platform, either AWS or Azure or GCP. So if you know the any of the cloud platform and if you by knowing all these skills, you can become as a machine learning engineer. There also you require the Python. Again, if you want to go for the deep learning, if you want to go for the computer vision engineer, so for doing the computer vision engineer, that is kind of work what you will do in the computer vision engineer, like image classification, image extraction, image to text generation, so object detection, all these kind of various techniques. If you want to do convolutional neural networks, there also you should require the Python. There also the minimum skills is Python, statistics, SQL, artificial neural networks, convolutional neural networks, and any one of the cloud platform, AWS or Azure or GCP for deployment. If you want to go for convolutional neural networks engineer, that is computer vision engineer. Or if you want to go for the NLP, natural language processing. So where the natural language processing applications came means, suppose if you are going to write some mail, if you are going to write some mail here, if you write some mail, whatever the mail context is there, automatically if you are receiving that mail, you will be getting automated responses here. So how these automated responses will be getting? Because of NLP. And if you see on YouTube videos, so automatically the related videos also which is coming, that is due to NLP. So all these kind of things, all kind of stuff, that is Google Voice Assistant. If you are speaking automatically, the Google will generate the text, whatever the web content pages are there, it is going to display. So that means voice to text it is getting. So how that is happening? because of NLP. So all these kind of techniques, if you want to learn, you have to go for NLP program. There also, you should require the Python. So if you want to learn any of these programming or if any of these skills, if you want to go, definitely you require the Python. Without Python, you cannot implement all those things. To do all those such kind of things, you should require some programming language. That programming language we are learning here, that is Python. So whatever the things NLP, if you are going, NLP task if you are doing means something you required. That is the Python language. So why we are only choosing the Python? So many languages are there. C, Java, everything is there. Why we are preferring only Python? Because Python is very simple language and it is also kind of the easiest language to develop, whether it is system programming or graphical user interface or data mining, whatever the things are there, you can develop very easily because of having the so many libraries which are supported by the Python. Because for other languages, it won't support the libraries. Here, there is a main advantage of that. It can support the libraries. Whenever you need something, directly you can pick and use. That's all. So instead of get just by picking the library, and you can use that library within one line. Writing one line in Python equal to 100 lines in Java. So that is you can see that much difference compared to the other programming language. So that's why it becomes easy, and everyone made you easy because of just importing the required library, and what whenever it is required you will use that one. That's all. So that's why we are preferring this Python. So we'll compare that programming languages and all we'll discuss here, and we'll installation of Anaconda distribution also. That is other Python IDEs. Anaconda distribution, which is a IDE where you used to write your programs in that particular software. In the Anaconda distribution, you will be getting the Jupyter Notebook, Spider, all these kind of IDEs you will be getting. And also you will be learning some PyCharm also, which is another kind of IDE where the real time mostly the people used to develop the programs in that kind of IDE only. So we'll discuss all the IDEs here, and will installations also will be taken care in this class itself. Installations, everything you will be doing on live itself. I won't we I want to ask you to do separately on your own. In the class itself, you are supposed to do the kind of installations, and the problems if you are getting there and there itself will rectify. So that I can help you and by installation. So the installation has to be done by you only. No other person will come and do for you. So you have to do by it yourself. And you, if you are getting the error in the class itself, you can ask me. There and there itself, we will rectify that kind of installations and everything. So that will be taken care in the class. And next one is we'll be starting the Python, where we'll be covering all these things: numbers, boolean, string, container, objects, everything will be telling the loops, what are the loops, if else, while, for loop, everything will be covered, break and continue statements. So the strings will be covering. So different kinds of string concatenations, all these things will be covered. And by using the various data structures also, we'll be taking the strings and we'll be doing some of the operations on the strings. The various data structure, tuple, set, dictionaries will be covered, and the functions, the user defined functions, and some of the function like lambda, map, reduce, filter, all these will be covered. The OOPS concepts will be covered. So the object oriented programming, how to create the classes, how to create the objects, how to read the files, how to write the files, how to store the files, everything will be covered. What is encapsulation, what is multi-threading, all these will be covered here. What is exception handling, polymorphism. All these concepts will be taught here. And next one is Flash and API, that is application programming interface, where APIs will be taught. That is, suppose for example, why this API will be learned and how we will be doing. So this Flash and API will be doing also here itself. So why this API is more powerful means, suppose if you are we'll take an example of bank application. Suppose this is a some kind of HDFC bank, and this is a kind of ICICI bank. So this HDFC bank people used one kind of application where they used to run the applications in the Java, and the ICICI bank applications they used to run in the backend, which is in the Python. So for communicating between this Java and Python, some of the bridge should be required. So that bridge, which is nothing but API, that is application programming interface. So how this we'll see in entire detail, how we'll be communicating between these two kind of things. If even if it is there in other language, even if it is there in this other language also, how we can communicate between those two, we'll be explaining there. So so who draw this? Don't draw this kind of things. Next one is visualization. Visualization will be seeing some kind of libraries like Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly, Cufflinks. I think all of you know the Power BI. So Power BI, that is kind of the visualization tool where you used to do the plotting between, and you will be doing the analysis between the variables, and you will find the analysis between the data. Same in the similar way, in the Python itself, we have the visualization libraries like Matplotlib, Seaborn, and Plotly, and Cufflinks, and some more libraries are also there for doing this visualization. All this will be seen here. Next one is Python Pandas. So Pandas will be seeing. This is especially if you are going for as a machine learning engineer, or if you want to go as a data scientist, or if you want to go for an NLP or somewhere, whatever it may be related to data related jobs, if you want to go. So then and required, you should require the Python Pandas library. So where the Pandas library, why it is useful means, so to read the some kind of files, either it is CSV file or Excel file or whatever file it may be, you will be reading those files by using the Pandas. And you will be doing some of the operations on the data, or some of the operations which should be required on the data. If two tables or two data frames are there, if you want to join those two data frames, then also you require the Pandas. If you are doing some of the operations on the data, and if you are doing some of the modifications on the data, then and only the Pandas is required. And we'll see how the Pandas will be seeing how everything. So we'll be seeing all those Pandas library. Next one is Numpy. This is numerical Python, where we used to create some of the arrays, and I used to create some of the array operations by using the Numpy, and some of the mathematical operations. And if you want to perform some complex operations also, then and required, you require the Numpy library. So we'll be seeing in detail, sorry, into the depth of Numpy. Next one is exploratory data analysis. So where we used to do the some of the analysis, and we'll take some of the examples. This is from the Pandas. This is if you want to go for the machine learning or deep learning, or if you want to go into the data scientist or NLP engineer, such kind of jobs, if you are preferring, from the module 8 to everything, it will be going to cover basics. That is future engineering and selection, how you will analyzing the bike sharing trends, movie review sentiment. We'll be seeing everything by doing some of the analysis. So each and everything, this itself, these are itself, which are kind of the projects. So all these kind of mini kind of projects will be seeing here. And at last, and finally, one project will be there on the Python. So we'll be discussing that Python project, and we'll try to do on live itself, not by simply seeing the module and not explanation. Everyone used to supposed to do there and there itself. So by project on your own. So we'll try to make that as much as possible. So this is from my side. If anyone having the doubts, you can ask me.